Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope that you are all fine. I am Mrs. Noreen Akhtar, your teacher for the subject chemistry. Students, we are on chapter 12, and from chapter 12 we have completed our two main topics about the alkanes and alkenes, and now we are going to study the third hydrocarbon, which is the alkynes, and today we will study about the preparation of the alkynes. Students, these are your learning outcomes, that after understanding the topic you will be able to define what are alkynes. You will be able to explain the general characteristics of the alkynes. You will be able to differentiate between vicinal and geminal dihalide. And moreover, you will be able to explain the different methods of the preparation for the alkynes. Coming towards the general characteristics of the alkynes. Students, you know that alkynes are the hydrocarbons that have at least one carbon to carbon triple bond. It means that in the alkyne, any hydrocarbon to be called alkyne, it must have at least one carbon to carbon triple bond. It can have more than one triple bonds, but presence of at least one carbon to carbon triple bond is necessary. And now you can see here the general formula, that is CN2H2N minus 2. This is the general formula for the alkynes, and the alkynes are traditionally known as the acetylene series. Acetylene is the first member of the alkyne hydrocarbon group or the compounds, and normally the alkynes are known by their first member, which is called acetylene, and due to the acetylene we can call the alkynes as the acetylene series. Number third, you can see that disubstituted alkynes are described as internal alkynes. Disubstituted means that carbon to carbon triple bond will be present in between the two alkyl groups, and they are called the internal alkynes. And we will see the examples of internal alkynes in onward going discussion. And number fourth point is that monosubstituted alkynes are those in which carbon to carbon triple bond is present at the end of the chain. That means that it will have only one alkyl group on one side of the carbon, and that carbon will be triple bonded to the carbon, which is further bonded to the hydrogen. That means that terminal as name indicate that it will terminate the chain, or in other words we can say that the triple bond will be present at the end of the chain. Students, here are the examples of the terminals and the internal alkynes that you can see here. This is the ethine, which is also called as acetylene. In here you can see that the triple bond is present between the two carbon atoms. And the second example is propyne, in which the CH3 group indicates the R group, that is alkyl, and here the carbon to carbon triple bond is present at the end, so it is an example of terminal alkynes. And in the third one you can see that which is called but1-ine. Here again CH2CH3 is an alkyl group, and the triple bond is present at the end of the or at the end of the chain. That is why it is an example of terminal alkynes. And coming towards the example of internal alkynes, here you can see that we are having the example of but2-ine. Here CH3 indicates the R group, and the second CH3 will indicate the second alkyl group. I just differentiated two alkyl groups to understand that in the internal alkynes we are having the triple bond present between carbon to carbon in between the two alkyl groups. So simply we can say that in the internal alkynes the triple bond is present in between the two alkyl groups, while in the case of the terminal alkynes the triple bond is present at the end of the chain of the alkyne. Students, here I am showing you some examples of alkynes along with their structure formula, chemical formula, name and condensed structure formula. The first member here you can see that it is ethine, as it written here its name ethine. The chemical formula is C2H2. Here you can see the structure formula, which is C carbon bonded to carbon, another carbon, and you can see the condensed structure formula as CHCH. Here the number 2 is propyne, and you can see the structure formula, that is in which the carbon to carbon triple bond is present, and the chemical formula is C3H4, and this is the condensed structure formula. Similarly, you can see the chemical formula, structure formula and name and condensed structure formulas of further member of the alkyne series, which is butane. And as we in butane, you can see that the position of carbon to carbon triple bond can vary, that we can give them different position, so it will lead to the structural isomerism that you have studied in one of your chapter hydrocarbons in detail. And here you can see that is why, due to the structural isomerism, the position of the carbon atom is different. Triple bond is different at different in both the chemical and structural formulas. You can see that here the carbon to carbon triple bond is given the position 1, and in this it is given the position 2. Now coming towards the methods of the preparations of the alkynes. Students, we are having the two methods for the preparations of alkynes. The first method is by the dehydrohalogenations of the vicinal dihalides, and the second method is by dehalogenation of tetrahalogenoalkanes. Describing the first method of the preparation, which is dehydrohalogenation of vicinal dihalide. First of all, students, we will differentiate between the two types of the dihalides. The first one is known as geminal dihalide, in which the two halogen atoms, dihalide means di means two and halide for halogens, having the anionic form. So in the geminal dihalide, two halogen atoms are bonding to the same carbon atom. Here you can see that we are having the example of geminal dihalide, in which bromine, here the Br is the bromine atoms, and both are present on the same carbon atom. Both are located on the same this one carbon atom. So we can see that this is an example of geminal dihalide. And in the case of the vicinal dihalides, you can see that in the vicinal dihalides, two halogen atoms are bonding to the adjacent carbon atoms. Adjacent means that two carbon atoms are directly connected with each other. These are the adjacent carbon atoms, and here we are having the bromine atom on one carbon atom and the other bromine on the second carbon atom. So this is the example of the vicinal dihalide. That means that the two halogen atoms will be present on two carbon atoms, and those carbon atoms must be adjacent to each other. While in the case of the geminal, here you can see that two halogen atoms are present on the same carbon atom. Here is the equation showing the preparations of alkynes from vicinal dihalides. So students, you can see from this equation that these are the conditions. This is the vicinal dihalide in which the two bromine atoms are present on the two adjacent carbon atoms, and in the presence of potassium hydroxide, that means that alcoholic conditions are necessary. And what will happen that due to the whenever we are providing the alcoholic conditions, then definitely we can use the base sodium amide, in which sodium is positively charged and NH2 is negatively charged, or you can also use sodium bromide, or we can also use ammonia. That means that any base from these can be used for the reaction. Now what will happen that when the reaction is being carried out between the vicinal dihalide and the potassium hydroxide, you can see here that simply what will happen that here this hydrogen will goes with OH, that is the coming from the potassium hydroxide, and potassium hydroxide will react with bromine from the adjacent carbon atom, and it will lead to the eliminations of KBr, that is potassium bromide, and water, as written here. That we can see here the negative sign indicates that after the reaction between potassium hydroxide and vicinal dihalide, which is dibromoethane, and in which the elimination of KBr, elimination means removal of KBr in water molecule, will take place from the adjacent carbon atom, and it will lead to the formation of carbon to carbon double bond. And as you know that the elimination here will take place in two steps. In first step, we will obtain an alkene, and then we will again react this alkene with potassium hydroxide. The same conditions will be applied, and this potassium will again react with KBr, with the bromine, that is Br, and this OH from the KOH will react with hydrogen from the another carbon atom, and it will lead what will happen that it will lead to the formation of carbon to carbon triple bond with the elimination of another KBr in water molecule. So students, you can see that basically the preparations of alkynes from vicinal dihalides, that is this reaction is being carried out in two steps. So it is called as elimination reaction, in which the elimination or E1 and E2, there are two types of elimination reactions, that is E1 elimination reaction and E2 elimination reaction. So this is an example of E2 elimination reaction because it takes place in two steps. In first step, the alkene is being formed, and in the second step, the alkynes, that is the product of the concern, will be formed. The second method of the preparations of the alkyne is by the dehalogenations of the tetrahalides. As students, you know the term dehalogenation. We have already discussed in one of our topic, and D means removal. Halogenation means removal of halogens. So here the term dehalogenations of the tetrahalides is being used for the preparations of alkynes. Students, this is an equation showing the reaction of tetrahalides with zinc. That is, these are the reaction conditions that for the dehalogenation of tetrahalides, what we will do, we will carry out the reaction of tetrahalides with zinc dust, and we will apply the heat. That means that we will just heat of the reacting materials. And after the reaction, now what will happen, that one chlorine that is an halogen will be removed from this carbon atom, and another chlorine will be removed from this carbon atom. So it doesn't mean that we are having the four chlorine atoms, two on one carbon and two another carbon, and zinc chloride here that you can see, that is the product. Zinc chloride will be formed when the chlorine, one chlorine will be removed from one carbon and another chlorine will be removed from this carbon. It means that that the two chlorine atoms will be removed from the adjacent carbon atoms. Both will not be removed from this carbon atom. Only the which is present on the chlorine atom present on the same carbon atom will not be removed. Instead, they will be removed from the adjacent carbon atoms, that is from one chlorine from one carbon atom and another chlorine from another carbon atom. So in the first step, what we will obtain an alkene, and along with that the zinc chloride will be produced as side product or byproduct. So here you can see that from 1,1,2,2 tetrachloroethane we have obtained 1,2-dichloroethene. You know the naming, that here the carbon, if the carbon is this carbon is given the position 1 and this is given the position 2, so both the carbons are having two chlorine atoms each. So for this carbon we will mention the position of chlorine as 1 1, and for this carbon atom we will mention the position of chlorine as 2 2, and tetra means 4 for chlorine atoms, and ethane, as we are having just two carbon atoms which are single bonded to each other. And after the reaction we will obtain the product which is alkane, but our concerning product is the alkyne, that is triple bond. So the reaction will lead to the second step, and in the second step what we are having the product of the first step, which is 1,2-dichloroethene, and this 1,2-dichloroethene again will react with zinc, and the both reactants will be heated up, and as a result what we will obtain carbon to carbon triple bond, that is alkyne, which is the, in other words, we can see that we will obtain our concerning product which is alkyne, or here it will be named as ethyne. So we are having ethyne from the dehalogenation of tetrahalides, and for the dehalogenation we must have the two-step reaction. In the first step we will have the removal of two chlorine atoms from the adjacent carbon atoms, and as a result we will get ethene, that is the 1,2-dichloroethene, and in the second step we will get the ethyne, that is the product of the concern that we have to prepare during this reaction. Students, let us share some information to the first member of the alkyne series and you have also learned that basically the alkynes are also given the name of acetylene series, the first member which is acetylene, and it is also called as ethyne. That is ethyne formula, its molecular formula is C2H2, and it means that carbon triple bonded to carbon, and so you can see that it is called acetylene or ethyne. Students, here is the molecular formula, electronic formula and structure formula of ethyne, the first member of the alkyne series. Here the molecular formula, you can see first one is the molecular formula which is C2H2, and second is the electronic formula, or in other words you can see the Lewis structure of C2H2, in which you can see that there is electron pair between the carbon hydrogen and another electron pair between the carbon and hydrogen, and these two carbon atoms are sharing the three pairs of electrons. So the electronic formula or the Lewis structure for the C2H2, that is the ethine, is shown in the second in the second number, or and the third one is the structural formula of the ethine, which is in which the H structural formula, in which all the bonds are shown here. That is, there are three carbon to carbon triple bond is present, and the single carbon to hydrogen bonds are also shown here. Now coming towards the laboratory preparations of the ethine. Students, here the laboratory preparations of ethine is being shown. We are having the conical flask, and calcium carbide is being in the conical flask, and dropping funnel is there with a delivery tube as shown in the figure, and oil gas is being used to replace air from inside the conical flask, because ethine is gives very explosive reaction with air. And when we add the water into the flask, it instantly the reaction will take place, and the ethynes will be produced, and you can see the bubbles of ethine passing through the delivery tube, and it can be collected just by the downward displacement of the water. Why? Because ethine is lighter than water, so it will be collected above the water, as you can see in the figure. Students, I hope that you have understood your assignment. Your topic. Here is your assignment. Number one question is, what do you know by the term dehydrohalogenation? And your question number two is, differentiate between vicinal and geminal dihalides. You have seen the differences between the two types of the dihalides in your current topic. So what you will do, you will do the comparison between the vicinal and geminal dihalides. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz. Thank you.